Welcome back. I will make this quick because I know I haven't been here via long form for a minute. I am a new Dragon Ball fan. It has taken over my life. I talk about this story quite often via short form content. My Dragon Ball diary is my way of talking about it for an even longer time because I can't shut up about it. I will read a volume for the first time, reread it. It's kind of crazy, but fun. This video, we're covering volume 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and the first 3 chapters of volume 12 because we have completed the Freeza Saga arc. At least in my head, we finished. I think I finished it at the right point. All right, let's get into it, and then I'll come finish this out at the end. Okay, I'm late on my reread of volume 7. I still was so anxious. It was such a game of cat and mouse, and it's really funny, but still very stress-inducing. So we basically have Krillin getting more power from the Great Elder, and then Vegeta trying to get the Dragon Ball that Krillin got from the Great Elder, taking the Dragon Ball, Gohan getting Vegeta's hidden Dragon Ball, Frieza. Oh, and Vegeta literally took Frieza's Dragon Ball, so you know he's going insane. Then Zarbon gets Vegeta, then they're fighting, and Gohan and Krillin go to the Great Elder. They've hidden the Dragon Balls with Bulma, and it's just insane. The Ginyu Force pops up. We have to team with Vegeta, of all characters. The Ginyu Force is annoying, but strong, and we really get to see, and I enjoy it, because after Vegeta takes down Zarbon, right, we know he got stronger because they healed him in order to get the Dragon Balls, but we know that the Saiyans get stronger when they're on the brink of death, but you know, they get healed and they're better than ever. We can see that, yes, Vegeta is stronger, but I love how it's like, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. The Ginyu Force shows us that there are people stronger than we can imagine, and if they're this strong, what the heck does it mean about Frieza? So I love that aspect, and I had to give a shout out to Gohan. I've said it before, but Gohan is so smart. I'm more impressed with his ability to be strategic and aware of his surroundings than I am with his strength, which is also incredible. And the Great Elder pulled more from him. When Vegeta goes to him and Gohan realizes that he has to hide the Dragon Ball that he's taking from Vegeta, but he realizes the best thing to do is to come out and just chat and hopefully, you know, not bring attention to the fact that he took the Dragon Ball. When Vegeta says what's in his hand, he has, you know, Bulma's Dragon Ball tracker, and he says it's a watch, and he doesn't let him know that he has it. And he even gets hit by Vegeta, which is so annoying. He just knees him. So he doesn't even hit him, he knees him. Then he like puts his foot on his head. Oh, why is he like this? But Gohan's so sweet. He's like, at least he still has the Dragon Ball. So I'm so proud of him and his ability to stay calm, not just, you know, outsmart Vegeta, but stay calm. And it's so funny too, because Vegeta is constantly insulting them and calling them dumb, and to see Gohan outsmart him, and when he realizes that, he gets so angry. And I think part of it is, yes, he obviously wants the Dragon Balls, but also these people, these earthlings who he has put down, and even another Saiyan who he just thinks is beneath him, outsmarted him. So I really like that touch to this. I think one of my favorite and least favorite parts is whenever we get to the Great Elder's place and Vegeta's caught them. And I will say, it's fascinating how much Vegeta has gotten better at sensing chi. Is it chi? Somebody said it's ki. Is it chi or ki? Vegeta has been sitting down waiting for them, just trying to sense them out. And so when they finally do it, even though they're far away and Krillin doesn't think that he'd be able to sense them, he does, because he's just been marinating in the idea of waiting to see if he could pick up anything. Also, I hate giving Vegeta credit when he outsmart Frieza as well, which he did a better job outsmarting Frieza than he did Gohan and all of them. Well, I guess he wasn't trying to outsmart them, but I said this in my shorts, kind of feel for Zarbon, only because it just seems like to me he never wanted to kill Vegeta, and Vegeta ends up killing him. It's a very violence. But Vegeta does say something like, what about all those times you made me work like a slave? So I don't know how cruel Zarbon was to him, like as far as making him do stuff and the way he did it. But this whole time, he doesn't seem like a lot of the other crazies that we've met. And the way Frieza just treats Zarbon, like he's so disposable. It's interesting because when I see these people and they pass away, sometimes, especially with the Ginyu Force, because one of them died in this section. Which one was it? It was Gerd. It was Gerd. Seeing Gerd die, it made me think this Ginyu Force, they're a team with their little popping out nature. And I said in my short, I wonder if they have a theme song, and you guys have said that they do have a theme song. And so they seem like they have a good time with each other. And there are moments where when one of their people die, and even Frieza's people, I want to be like, from their perspective, I wonder what that feels like, seeing their people that they've been with die. But they're so diabolical. Frieza doesn't care about anybody but Frieza, it seems like. And then even the Ginyu Force, when Gerd dies, they weren't as bad as Frieza, but one of them said, how are we going to do our pose now? I think they said Ginyu will have to make us a new pose. So it's like, do you care or not care? Or do you only care about the pose of it all? But going back to that fight, when they arrive, it is so stressful. Vegeta has caught up to Krillin and Gohan in this moment. They sense the Ginyu Force. The Great Elder senses great power. Vegeta knows what they're capable of. Krillin doesn't know if he can trust him. Gohan doesn't know if he can trust him. Gohan now has these powers. And Krillin, by the way, when he got his powers earlier on, it was so sweet. He deserves it to be told he had more power within him and he didn't think that he did. But now Gohan has it in that panel where he comes out and he's like, yeah, I'm ready, Vegeta. But now they have this whole other issue, and it's like, do they give the Dragon Balls to Vegeta to get stronger or not? So it's so great, and they agree to. But then before they can get there, it's like just bam, bam, bam. The panels are so freaking good. The Ginyu Force is here. And I will give Vegeta credit where credit is due. I've said it before, but whenever Gohan and Krillin are fighting them and they let their chi come out and they didn't expect it, the Ginyu Force, but Gerd has those powers and they didn't really listen to what Vegeta said about keeping an eye out for that. And so they are strong and they could take this character down easily, but he catches them in his little whatever he does and they're stuck in the air. And then Vegeta, because he's going to impale them, Gerd's going to impale them with this tree, he just takes off Gerd's head. That is insane. It was pretty cool. But then, of course, he has to ruin it because Gohan tells him thank you and he's like, I didn't do this for you. We have to see him take on the next person. What was his name? Riakum. Vegeta goes all out with this fight. To start it out, he just is punching and throwing and kicking and slamming, and it's good. You think he's doing something, but then you realize, yeah, this is a different set of people, because when he rises up again, Riakum, and it barely seems like anything's been done to him, it's terrifying. And there's a moment at the very end of this where Vegeta's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna die here. And it is so sweet seeing Krillin say, as soon as Vegeta comes down, I guess we're next. Never ever gonna see Goku again. Why? I love how he mentions Goku, his best friend. That's like what's on his mind. And so he says, so I guess nothing matters. It's like, okay, let's do it. I know there's probably more to that, but it still just shows the impact that Goku has on his life. Then he says, Gohan, charge. And Gohan just listens. He says, what? Oh, okay. It breaks my heart that they have to they know this is probably not going to work out for them, but they're like, let's do it. It's so sweet, but it is scary. But you do see that Goku is coming. I love that we end with that. And by the way, I love the section where Goku is training. Goku is training so hard, about to die so many times, but he has those beans and that helps him get stronger. So he's stronger and stronger. And I think it says he's stronger. He's past what a typical Saiyan would be. That was awesome. And I loved it. One thing about Dragon Ball that's done so well is everything having some kind of explanation, at least as of now. And for the most part, I'm sure there's some things that may not have been perfectly executed, but I don't know though. Everything's been done really well. Like Goku, it makes sense why he's stronger and stronger and stronger. And it ties into what Saiyans can do when they're on the brink of death and getting, stronger after being healed. I love it. Very solid volume. I also love this cover. Okay, I will talk to you when we reread volume 8. Okay, so this volume managed to infuriate me all over again. Every kind of annoying possible situation happened in this volume, which is crazy because we also had a perfect, incredible Goku moment. I was mad at so many people. Vegeta per usual, but he just managed to be extra, which is crazy to think, but extra annoying. He just leaves Goku in the middle of this fight. Why is he like this? Ginyu and the whole switching of the bodies thing. I actually think that's a cool ability. It is annoyingly frustrating and flawed, but I do think it's a cool ability, but I'm just, oh my gosh. And what else? Gohan, the next snap, because I think I said it in the last clip that I'm behind on my reread rereading of the first read. And so I forgot that Gohan's neck snapped. I don't think I forgot. It hasn't been that long, but I think I wiped it from my memory because I'm sorry, what in Gohan's bravery? It hits just the same, maybe better this second time around when he is fighting, which one? Ginyu? Rillaboom. When he's fighting Rillaboom, waiting because Krillin, oh wait, hold on. I am still heartbroken. And this time it was even sadder on the reread. Just seeing Krillin feel so defeated. He did get one hit, ruined the guy's teeth. Love that. Love that. He finally gets hit with one hit from Rillaboom. He is out and he's like, something's, broken in his body and he can't get up. He said, hate to say it, but we're toast. We can't stop him. Couldn't even run away. They got the Dragon Balls. It's just all over. And you know what? When I first read this, I think I was disappointed, not upset, like mad at him, but disappointed that he was kind of giving up. But he kind of deserves it, right? Like he deserves to have this moment. I don't want it to happen, but he's gone through a lot. And unfortunately, he doesn't have Goku's abilities. And he even said it that he had these extra things in him that he didn't know he hadn't pulled out come out, and he still couldn't do it. And I just feel for Krillin because it's so interesting because Krillin is this leader on his own, right? He's able to lead Gohan and lead everybody and take charge, but he's not as strong as some of these people. And it's just interesting because mentally Krillin is stronger than most people, right? But when it came to the physical part, I see why he would feel defeated. And after everything he did and all the losses, and it's just a lot to take in, And I also wonder if sometimes he feels like he wants to prove to Goku that he can do it. Maybe not. But I love Krillin and I think he deserved to have that moment. He also could have felt delusional because he just was hit so crazy and he's just talking in a kind of woozy state. But I love Gohan, sweet little baby Gohan being like, no, it's not over yet. And he fights. I just adore him. And it's so hard because he's still just a little baby of a Gohan. I think he's 6 or 7 now? Is he still 6? But he's, regardless, it's not like that's a great jump in age. So that's sad. And in the midst of this, we have Freeza. I love this part, thinking that he has the Dragon Balls and he's going to get his wish. And I love that there was a twist of, it doesn't work like we think it does. It doesn't even work how it worked on Earth. So he, of course, it gets ugly because now he has to go find the Great Elder, but at least love seeing him fail for a second. And I said this in my short, when Freeza approaches, it's so eerie because he comes across so polite, like saying, hello, I would like to get your Dragon Balls, please, for one death apiece. It's crazy. The thing is, though, you need the Great Elder to be alive, so then Nail has to fight him, and when his arm is ripped off, this is so violent. Frieza's ability is over 500,000 and poor Nail, but he is standing strong and he regenerates his arm after it's ripped off, but that takes out energy. So there's that whole thing, right? And we have Gohan just getting beat up and I hate it. But he's, Gohan is mentally standing there when he's like, I am Son Goku's son and I'm going to keep going and I'm not going to lose. I love it. But when his neck, it's one thing, I've said this, it's one thing for these people to want to win and fight, but do you have to take it there? I was livid all over again. And so when all hope feels lost, Goku pops up. Goku is the coolest. And my favorite thing isn't even when Goku starts just beating people up with very little effort. Goku being able to just not address the people around him, the villains, and he wants to go to his son and his best friend, and the way he gives a bean to Gohan and he knows his neck is broken and he doesn't freak out. He's like, his neck is broken. Let me help him. Take the the bean. And then he goes to his friend Krillin and he even addresses Gohan and say, you've been fighting really hard. Oh, and even whenever Krillin tells him, hey, Goku, I don't even know how to feel about this. These guys, I don't think we can beat them. Not even you. And Goku's just like, I'll fight them all. And wow, he just is amazing. And I love all the times that he just hits them whenever they're not paying attention. And he's just like, you were wide open. So very Goku. I feel like there are so many elements to what I loved about Goku as a kid still in him. But Goku is just incredible. And he defeats Rillaboom. And then he fights Buddha and Jeez. And I love just seeing everybody, even the people we care about, acknowledging how much stronger he's getting and seeing how much stronger he's getting. And there is a moment, and it's ruined. It's literally ruined because he can't help himself. He just can't. Where Vegeta, I do agree with him, even on my reread, where Goku I think he defeats Buddha, and Jeez, and I'm probably saying their names wrong. He lets Jeez get away, and Vegeta's like, what are you doing? And then and it's kind of crazy. The panels are super crazy and cool. He kills everybody who's there, which is Rillaboom and Buddha, and he would have killed Jeez, I'm sure, if Goku hadn't let him get away. And I understand Goku's point. Like, Goku kept telling them throughout the fight, you don't have to die. Just leave. Let it go. I'm stronger than you losers. He didn't say it like that. But he wasn't trying to kill them. And Vegeta's like, look, you can't be doing all that. You got to stop with all the nice stuff. And I get it to an extent with Goku, but we definitely see the effects of that because Jeez does go to Ginyu and Ginyu comes. Now, the thing is, Goku is still stronger than Ginyu. When we see Goku's power going up and up and up, and they're like, what? They thought it was like, I think it's 60 to 80,000, how strong Goku's power level was. But when it went higher and higher, and it's like 60, 80, 100,000, and it's like 180,000, I think, or 160. I'll have it here. I think it's 180. But it's amazing. It's so good. However, before we get there, they know that Frieza hasn't gotten his wish yet because they haven't seen it get dark. And so they're assuming that he can't do it yet. So he tells Gohan and Krillin, because they're all healthy now, because Goku gave them the bean, to go get the Dragon Balls and him and Vegeta will fight. Well, Vegeta is in fact the worst. So that doesn't happen. Instead, when they're about to fight, Vegeta just leaves. You know, Goku gave him the bean. He's stronger. And you can see this panel. It was done so well where Goku is telling Gohan and Krillin what to do. And he looks kind of angry and sneaky. And then when they're going to fight, he leaves because he's like, I'm going to go get those Dragon Balls. And yeah, sure. For a villain, he did his thing. But like, look at what happens later. Just don't be the worst. You can still try to be all sneaky, but let's get this done. And now Goku, who can beat these people, can't because stupid Ginyu can switch the bodies. When that happened, I was like, you have got to be kidding me, because Goku was winning. He was showing them, you can't beat me. But when Ginyu sees his power, he's like, oh, I'm going to take your body. Again, I think the ability is cool. I hate it for this situation. It's very annoying. In fact, this whole Ginyu force is so punchable to me, so this didn't help the situation. And Ginyu also, which was smart, injures his body. So when they switch, I remember the first time reading this, I was so confused why he did that. Then I was like, oh my gosh, now Goku is going to be even weaker. And if Vegeta had just waited, he would have known that they switch bodies. Krillin and Gohan, they find the Dragon Balls and it's all great. Bulma, by the way, is so funny when they go to get the radar. She's like, have you guys like just been playing around? And Krillin's like, playing around? He just looks so tired. So I love the humor with her. But they go get the radar, find the Dragon Balls. Vegeta got there too, change his little outfit, complains that it's not in style, hiding away, letting them get the ball and make the wish so he could be sneaky again and make the wish. Smart, but also stupid, because you have no idea what else is going on over there with Goku. So when Goku shows up, it's actually Ginyu. Poor Krillin doesn't know. Ginyu is just terrible. And he hits Krillin, and Gohan's the one who's like, that's not Dad. And so now Goku is injured, the one who can help, because Vegeta, and by the way, Vegeta, whenever Gohan broke his neck, you're like, pathetic or something like that. You have some audacity, sir. When you got beat up, what happened to all these years of practice? You wanted them to give you the wish because you're so strong. Like, and don't get me wrong, I know Vegeta did a lot, okay? But the point is, some audacity. But anyway, now he has more audacity because they're gonna need Goku again. But now Goku's injured and he's in Ginyu's body. But Goku does realize that, hey, I can't really use Ginyu's body right, so he can't use my body right. So when Ginyu tries to like power up his power, he can't because he's not Goku. And so it goes to like 23,000 or something super low, or 43,000, 23 something. I love all the little twists in this story, even that, because Goku knows you can't use my Kaioken, because it's so cool when we get to see how strong Goku is, his power level. And Ginyu's just so greedy and thinking that's going to be him. But like, sir, you don't even know how to use that ability. I love it. I love it. Even though I was very mad. So yes, we're in a crazy situation, the whole body switch of it all, but I do like that, the team now has some hope, and that Vegeta's gonna have to fight with us anyway, because then when Ginyu's kind of like, oh my gosh, I can't have Goku's power, he's like, geez, what are you doing? Go fight. And then Vegeta's like, not so fast. And yes, okay, that's cool, Vegeta, and it's a nice moment, but also could have been prevented. You could have took this guy out a long time ago. But anyway, it was a solid volume despite how mad it made me. And Dende happened to fly I love the way the Great Elder just put his hand on Dende's head and like go when he knows that Frieza's coming, and gives him that extra, or pulls out Dende's extra strength, and Dende just goes, even though it's like, but Great Elder, don't die. It's so sweet. But everybody, despite how annoying Frieza and Vegeta and the Ginyu force have been, they still stay strong. They still keep going. And that's our team. So yes, Volume 8 reread complete. I will talk to you guys when we talk about Volume 9. Our time has come to fight that that demon named Freeza. I love this cover, and I think it may be my favorite. It is so cute with everybody in it. But this fight, immediately from the beginning of Freeza popping up on us after we didn't get our last wish, until we see so many things within our characters that we followed that was so special despite how horrible this situation is. This volume opens with us finishing off Ginyu. Goku is so strategic, by the way. In the midst of Vegeta just wanting to attack, we can finally get Ginyu down. Gohan and Krillin are doing their thing, and Vegeta is like, I'm gonna finish him off. But if Vegeta would have killed him, I think that would have killed Goku, right? I don't know how that works. I don't know the logistics of it. Either way, at that moment when Ginyu was going to switch bodies and Goku noticed because he's just so observant. First I thought he was trying to switch back with Goku, but I think he was trying to switch with Vegeta. So either way, it just would have been stupid because Vegeta was being stupid for leaving in the first place. By the way, something else I realized, the reason we don't have Goku in this moment is likely because of Vegeta. Because he didn't, I guess Ginyu probably would have tried to find a way to switch with Goku and would have harmed his body, but it wouldn't have got beat up as bad as it did because he would have stopped him, right? He would have stopped him in advance. And so everybody wouldn't have got to beat up on him. I'm so annoyed by Vegeta, but Goku was so smart to switch it with the frog. And can you imagine? That sounds horrifying. Ginyu's body getting switched with a frog and he can't even get out of it. Vegeta said, you're about to have the worst kind of fate anyway with this frog situation. And yes, he needs to talk in order to switch. So he's just stuck. And then his body, the frog just hopped away. I find that to be horrifying. Moving right along, Goku now has to get healed. Vegeta has to help us. I also still enjoy when Vegeta has to give them the outfits. I love all the tiny interactions in this story with the various characters, whether it's the really cute, sweet moments or them dealing with Vegeta. The armor, though, I don't think I mentioned that before. I love that it actually protects them. Like it can take force or whatever, can take hits. I have to talk about Nail. Nail was such a beast. We see that Frieza is just torturing the poor individual. It looks so hopeless and bleak, but you realize Nail is trying to give Dende time to get to everybody. And while Frieza is so strong, he thought he was doing all of this when really all the real power and what he wanted was getting away from him. And I adore it. Then Dende, when he meets up with Krillin, because we know we need to figure out how on earth are we going to be able to activate these Dragon Balls. Krillin was on his way to where Dende was, and then they bump into each other. It is so sweet. But before that, I love when Gohan is with Vegeta, and he's like, what do we do if Frieza shows up? And Vegeta is just asleep, and little Gohan's just looking out. And then Krillin and Dende come. Krillin made sure that their chi was not activated because he didn't want Vegeta to know. So then Vegeta wouldn't sense when they're there so they could make the wish. And I love them tiptoeing around. I love when the text says what they're doing. I always find it so funny. They start trying to figure out what wishes they're gonna make. And then we see Piccolo say, I need to talk to Gohan. Let me come in. It's so smart. So he can come back to life. And that means Kami-sama will come back to life. And then they make the wish and Dende's saying it. And I love it. I also want to mention this. The dragon that we got for the wish, the look of it terrified me. I didn't even mention this in my shorts. I thought he was going to be evil. I thought he was going to be like, it was going to be like some kind of twist in the story. He ended up being great and we get 3 wishes with him. So that's wonderful. But he was scary to me. And of course, all the anxiety is coming back though, because Frieza was furious when he found out he got played. So he's coming and everybody can start sensing him. Vegeta wakes up and he's sensing everything and he's trying to get his wish. I will say, what would you guys have done in this situation? Now we do know, unfortunately, the Great Elder passes away. So they get the 2 wishes to bring Piccolo back and get him on planet Namek in a whole different section of planet Namek, but he's back. Vegeta wants him to use the last wish on him to make him immortal. And in that moment, Krillin has to be like, oh, I don't want to, but we have to. And so he tells Dende to do it, but they know Frieza's coming. And so he decides to say yes, and it doesn't happen. But I want to know what I would do. I think I would have, I don't know. I think I would have given it to Gohan, and I know that probably wouldn't have been right because he still needs to train, but I think I would have given it to Gohan. I do. It doesn't even matter though, because they don't get the wish. And when Vegeta is getting all mad and Dende says sorry because he's yelling at him, then he yells at Krillin, and I just feel so bad for Dende because this little demon is the reason why so many of his people are dead. And he's saying sorry to him after he has to deal with the loss of the Great Elder. Don't get me started. I would get started, but we have to talk about Freeza coming because it is chilling. Vegeta's all upset, like I said. And then when he looks over and because he was yelling at Krillin, then Krillin looks over and we just see Freeza and it's like, it's time. It is time. And you just know he's livid because he says it way too calm, which is great when you're reading it because it's like, oh my gosh, he's gonna lose it, and he does. But he's like, oh, you know what, dang, you guys took away what I wanted more than anything. Now I'm gonna torture you. It was terrible but great. And then Piccolo's coming, and Piccolo and Nail. I love that we got to still see those pieces of Piccolo that make him Piccolo because yes, he's cool, not cool, he's brothers with Gohan now, and there's a softer side to him that we know he saved Gohan's life at one point. However, when he's talking to Nail, and, Nail is so sweet too, and trying to get him to say that, you would be super strong if you would have been with Kami-sama, but you can merge with me and we'll be stronger. And Piccolo is hilarious with his response. I've been wanting to talk about this. He says, what? With you? And Nail says, yes, your strength will increase manyfold. He says, thanks for the offer, but no thanks. I don't want my personality to become one with you either. I want to be me. I don't know why that makes me laugh so much and why in my head he says it like that, but he does, and I find it to be so funny. But they merge and he is stronger, and we see that later. Back to the fight. When I first read this, I remember being like, I was focusing a lot on Vegeta in my head because of the history between these two. But Vegeta, yeah, he got to fight. He was all like, I'm going to be the Super Saiyan. You just watch. I'm stronger because, he's been brought back and he feels more confident and that he is keeping up with him. But then when that transformation happens, Frieza is huge and faster and stronger, and it just looks like nothing it can stop him. And he is so fast that he stabs Krillin. And I'm horrified. I am horrified. It's ugly. It is so ugly. And something I want to say too, there was a moment when I think it's during the transformation or some explosion that Frieza did, and Krillin says Dende. That is where his thoughts was Dende. And Vegeta, being annoying, even says it, that you wouldn't have gotten hurt if you weren't trying to protect Dende or look after that Namekian, and because he caught Dende. Krillin, and they all do this. They're always, when something happens, looking out for each other, and I just love it. I love it so much. But when that happened to Krillin, I was like, oh my goodness. And then he lands in the water and it's horrible, but then Dende goes and saves Krillin and my two just cute little bald kings. I love it, but now I gotta get to the point or the part where I have not got to just say how incredible this was. Friggin' Gohan, when that happens to Krillin, and I don't think it really hit me when he just goes all crazy. We know he can get super strong and go all out, but he was taking on Frieza, and that time he hit him, then he just starts shooting out stuff. I am one of my favorite things that I've seen in this story. And then it's also crazy how once he's kind of out of it, it's back to him being Gohan. He can still fight, but it's just a whole nother level. I know Vegeta's talking about the Super Saiyan thing, but I think Gohan is like something else. I don't know. And Dende can heal. Oh my gosh. Love it. I will say the end of this volume is just, it's wonderful because then when it looks like poor Gohan is getting beat up again, we have Krillin come back and he's healed. And that's when we find out about Dende. But I'll tell you what Gohan was doing when he got back because Dende healed him. He was angry. It literally says glare. He's ready to fight. And Vegeta does note, oh yeah, he's stronger because he's a Saiyan. And then it gets even better because Piccolo pops up. And Piccolo doesn't just pop up, he pops up and he's next to Gohan. Even before this, when you saw him coming after the nail stuff, he's like, I'm coming, Gohan. I love it. And you have Goku also, seeing things going on or sensing things going on because he's getting killed. Our Piccolo is here, and it's just perfect that he's next to Gohan, and Gohan's face, he says Piccolo, and Piccolo says sorry for the wait, and Frieza's looking angry per usual. And yeah, they start fighting, well, after our little group gets to talk a bit. And I also love when he's about to fight and he tells Dende, take over, Dende, or you're going to get hurt. And Dende's like, huh, how did he know my name? So sweet. It's so sweet because that's also Nail in there. Oh, I can't deal with it. And then we see Piccolo show what he can do, and you just see Frieza. He's not dead or anything, but everybody's shocked, and Piccolo's like, that's right. What a great way to end this volume. We will talk very soon when we talk about volume 10. My sweet, sweet Dende. My amazing, inspiring Goku. The fight between Goku and Frieza, Lord have mercy, do I hate that character. We start with us quickly realizing that Frieza is 10 times worse than we thought. The last volume, we're like, okay, we may have arrived, but Frieza is like, you may want to get a refund and go back. I will say this though, and I feel the same way, even on my reread, I do not like the second transformation at all. It looks like, I can't remember which character, but another one of his people, or Vegeta's people, I think it was his person. Like, I wasn't intimidated. Now that last one terrifies me because there's something about the design that is so cold and so empty and solid and heavy. I don't like it in the creepy way. Like, it actually scares me. The second one, no, especially after the reveal of it. That being said, he is so much more powerful. So it didn't really matter what I thought about him because he was very strong. And so it went from us being like, Piccolo is going to help us. And he did. Let's address the GOAT. However, Frieza was crazy strong. It was so interesting watching Vegeta throughout all of this when he tells Krillin, which was a great plan, to basically kill him because he realizes Dende can heal him and then he'll be stronger. I am confused as to why he kept thinking he was going to be a Super Saiyan in this particular moment. Maybe he was taking in the energy of like his emotions and what was going on, and the fact that he kept coming back and pushing the Saiyan limits, because I'm sure, just like Goku, and I think he said it, he's beyond what a typical Saiyan would be able to get to. So maybe that's why, I don't know, but he was so adamant about it. Or it's just possibly a bit of like throwing a Hail Mary because, we're at the brink of it. But I don't think so. He was like, no, I am the Super Saiyan. And I think that's a reason why he was so crushed. Before we get to that, my Dende, I hurt for him when he did not want to help Vegeta. And rightfully so. And his little face, he's like, I'm not helping you. I love how Dende is just so strong in the worst moment. I would be doing it too, though, Dende. I don't like Vegeta at all. I will never forgive him for the Namekian, so I don't blame you. I hated seeing him having to battle with that. When Dende does it all angry because Gohan and Piccolo, ask him to, Vegeta, don't you ever. So he heals him. Already he doesn't want to, and he kicks him. I got mad all over again seeing him do that. Little Dende. And I hate that this is the last moment we see of Dende before he's killed by Frieza. Oh, it just doesn't get better. I hate that Dende was killed because Frieza, when he was transforming and they were kind of doing their thing because Piccolo had gotten injured, pretty poorly. And Dende, whenever Vegeta was asking him to help him, he's like, I'm going to go help the Namekian. But when all that was going on, Frieza saw that it was Dende who was healing people. So it just gets terrible because we see the transformation. And one of the first things he does is make some deadly laser, I don't even know what this is, shot. And I said it in my short, I thought that he was trying to hit Vegeta. It's Dende. And I was devastated all over again. I love when they all charge. I think a lot of it had to do with Dende because what I was saying was I was so upset that little Dende's body is just there and they have to keep fighting. But I think a big part of them all just charging, especially Gohan, was because of Dende dying. And I know they can't beat Frieza at this moment, but it is amazing, all the panels of these amazing characters fighting. Frieza was about to hit Gohan and then Vegeta kicked him out the way and insulted him. And then Gohan thanked him and he said, don't get the wrong idea. I don't care about you. I just wanted to show off what I can do. Now, this is where it takes a turn. He says, tell me about fear, Frieza. I am now what you have always feared most, a Super Saiyan. He says, Kakarot, it was me after all, and he charges, and Frieza is so fast. I don't even think they ever actually fought when he thought he was a Super Saiyan, aside from this attack. And Frieza says, you still can't keep up with me, can you? You called yourself Super what? Then Vegeta says, it can't be. Oh no, he does do that last blast. He's like losing it, and he says, I am a Super Saiyan, And then Frieza dodges it, or pushes it out the way, kicks it out the way, and that just devastates Vegeta. And he literally, it's not even like he couldn't at least try to dodge. The text said, terror struck the depths of Vegeta's soul. For the first time in his life, for the first time he felt despair. For the first time in his life, Vegeta shed tears. I also wonder if he was like, what was it all for? I have been this cruel person, and a big part of it was to be the best. I'm supposed to be the best. So everything I've done is justified. Everything that I have said and lived and all the stuff that I took, he's talked about the labor that he went through, everything he's had to move on from. He brought a lot of stuff on to himself as well. But I also wonder if in that moment, he's like, did I even have to be this way if I wasn't even the one? Now, do I think he's thinking of all of that in that moment? No, but I think it's a lot of emotions. Obviously, the first, I'm not that. But then also, well, what does that mean? Who am I? You know what I'm saying? He lets Freeza just beat up on him. Frieza is choking him and, it's ugly. And then Goku gets healed. There's never going to be something as satisfying as Goku just popping up with his look, that face he makes. And then I love more than anything him just walking past or like saying, hey guys, sorry I'm late. I love it. Something else we learn is that he knows that he recognizes Goku, Frieza, and Goku's just doing his thing. But he says he looks just like the Saiyan who resisted until the end when I destroyed Planet Vegeta. Then the narrator, the text says, neither Frieza nor Goku knew that the Saiyan Frieza killed that day was Burdock, I think, Goku's father. And then I think Vegeta tells him that later. So we have that part of it. And I wonder if that's going to turn into anything later because it's in here. And I feel like everything with Dragon Ball has some kind of meaning. Vegeta, though, starts realizing that it is going to be Goku that's going to be the Super Saiyan. I think he really does believe that. And I love how we immediately see how strong Goku is because Frieza's like, I'm not going to let any Saiyan live. He hates these Saiyans. He does not like a Saiyan. But yeah, everybody, including Frieza, is shocked. Goku's just blocking. I love this. He's like shooting all these things at Goku and he's dodging them, but then he like throws him. He throws him out the way. And Frieza says he just knocked back all of them with one hand. And I love it. And then we have Vegeta. He tells him, Frieza, you're out of luck. This is going to be the Super Saiyan. He's so happy because at least he got to see that there is the Super Saiyan exists. I wonder if there was a moment he thought the whole thing wasn't real. But then when he sees Goku, he's like, that's it. And he tells Frieza, yeah, pack it up. Frieza, he is the Super Saiyan that you've been scared of. Frieza's face is something when Vegeta says that. And I didn't realize just how mad this made Frieza. And then Frieza shoots him. And that's the final blow for Vegeta that's going to kill him. But this talk that Vegeta gave Goku was interesting because he's telling him that he can't give any mercy, that he has to go all in to be this Super Saiyan. And then he explains to Goku what Frieza did. And I think that's to get him angry because Goku's like, but I can't be like you, essentially. I can't do that. And he says, it was Frieza. We Saiyans did just as he commanded. We were his hands, his muscles. We see him like being so vulnerable. And he says, and yet he killed them all. Your parents, my father, the king, he killed them all because he feared that a Super Saiyan would arise from among them. Please, Frieza must die by a Saiyan's hands. And you know what? That is pretty powerful, knowing everything Vegeta has seen and lost. His whole planet. Now, it's hard because he has no sympathy for anybody else, it's made him hard, I'm sure. And I'm not easing up on Vegeta, but I can see why Goku does what he does. This is his person, like he's a part of his people. And to see him kind of be one of the last ones fighting so hard and then feeling so defeated, but then still trying to give Goku hope. Goku, you guys know I said it in the short, I love this whole thing. I never thought I'd see you cry or beg for anything. You really must have hated it. Then I love when he looks and he blows up. You don't know what he's doing, but he makes a hole for Vegeta. He says, but it wasn't just the Saiyans getting murdered, was it? It was the fact that he used you. You were heartless, but you had the pride of a Saiyan. And I do see that. And Goku says, now I want you to give some of that pride to me. I was raised on Earth, but I'm Saiyan too. For all the Saiyans you killed and all the Namekians, I'm going to destroy you. I love how he talks about his people. He does this for his people and the Namekians. How great is that for him to include the Namekians? And then we go on to this incredible fight. And, when everybody leaves, Piccolo tells him to go, to get out of the way, and Gohan just saying, Dad, don't get killed, beat Frieza. Just so sweet. And, Goku's just like locked in. And we have this panel of Gohan looking at his dad and they start fighting. And it is an all-out war. And I'm so proud of Goku. He is holding his own. I love the moment where he went underwater, like Frieza kicked him and Goku is under there, but then he uses his Kamehameha to like distract him because he like shoots it out of the water and Frieza thinks it's Goku, but it's the Kamehameha. One thing that I love in this is when they're fighting, Frieza says he's not going to use any hands. And then they're going at it and he's trying to show off how cool he is. But he, at one point, he kicks Frieza and he's kind of having the lead again. So Frieza punches him and Goku says, I thought you weren't going to use your hands. I loved it. That's one of my favorite things so far. I think it's so great. But Freeza tells us that he estimates that if he uses just about half of his maximum power, he'll be able to turn Goku into cosmic dust. So it's not over. When he fights and we're close to the end of the volume, he is getting a lot of hits on Goku. And Goku's going and he's not giving up. But he is, you can tell, getting tired. And even the Lord of the World is like, sorry, but he's already using the tenfold Kaioken. Frieza does this. I meant to talk about this in a short. That was insane. That was insane. That crazy attack. He cuts the planet. It's insane. But then Goku decides he's going to do the Kaioken times 20. And when he does, it's satisfying to see Goku just so strong and getting that stupid Frieza. He does a Kamehameha. It is huge. It looks like he has Frieza hit pretty hard and it looks so intense, but Frieza is here. It does say sizzle sizzle on the panel though, but Goku says nothing. So we know this fight is not over. I will be back when we talk about the next volume. We have officially finished the Freeza Saga, the Freeza arc. We're covering volumes 11 and 12, but just the first 3 chapters of 12. And it was so hard to not keep reading. So I have read on a little bit and there should be a short for what I've read so far when I post this, but I'm stopping on chapter 3 of volume 12 because I believe it says the end of Namek. At the same time, it has such an impact on me that rereading it, I feel everything even more because I'm able to soak in what's happening. And in this section of the story, we have so many highs mixed with so many lows. Goku does his big energy ball. I know some people are like energy ball, but I think Krillin calls it that at one point, but that's incredible. And the team working together. And we think we won, and I can't help but get emotional when I'm talking and I'm trying to calm down. And when we think everything's okay, Krillin passes away because Frieza is just horrible. And it turns Goku into the Super Saiyan, right? Like that is the catalyst to him becoming this incredible fighter. But that is one of Goku's worst moments. His best friend passed away and it led to that. And it's so cool, but my head just wraps around, will this always be the thing? Will this always be what leads to people being a Super Saiyan? I've seen a little bit of what happens next, so I'm not entirely sure about that. But still, with our characters, I don't know. But the Super Saiyan aspect is incredible. I love it. I feel like crying though, because he did all of that. And for his last moment to be with him alone on this planet that is falling apart because of Frieza. For Frieza, he lets him go. After Frieza dang near he is the cause of his body getting chopped in half, which I didn't even realize that until I was rereading it. Or maybe I did, but like he was doing it and Goku still was going to let him go. And then Frieza can't let it go. And so Goku has to do what he doesn't even want to do and kill him, essentially. Now, based off what I've seen, it seems like other things happened. But regardless, in that moment, everything is so against what he's trying to do. And before it's like I was saying in my short that he looks sad, and I think that's true, but I also wonder, like, he is the strongest now, right? Allegedly. And he wants to fight the strongest, right? He wanted to, even despite how horrible Frieza is, he waited for him to get to his strongest now. That was also to avenge Krillin and all of that, right? But he wanted that. And so to see that have to go, he even told Frieza, get stronger, and I think it may feel lonely. Even though it's ironic because it's a terrible person and you killed my best friend and you killed all these Namekians and you're just horrible. But also, you and I who's going to relate to us? I don't know why this whole thing just has me like, they relate to each other in that way. And I just don't want Goku to be alone. And I know he's not. He's surrounded by people. He wants to be so strong. And yet everything that it takes for him to get there, is not that great all the time. And then when he finally meets people who can get him, he has to take them out. And it's ugly, but beautiful because look at what he's done and everybody he's helped. This was fantastic. It was fantastic. And I was hit even more on the reread from the beginning of of Volume 11, there were so many cool moments. I love that he did that Kaioken times 20, and I know it took so much out of him, and I was so worried for him. But I love when he's like, that hurt, when Freeza said that hurt. That is so lovely. He attacks, but at least we got that out of him. Gohan wants to go save his dad, which is so sweet, right? But Piccolo's like, hold on. I love how observant Piccolo is, you know? And then we see Goku with his arms up, and he is trying to do his last final, I'm calling it the energy ball because that's what they called it, but I know it has another name, but my brain's all clouded. And I love when everybody jumps in. Piccolo's like, give me your chi and save a little for yourself. And then he goes and helps. And then they jump in and help Gohan and Krillin. And it's so lovely seeing this teamwork. And then they get it done. It's everybody involved. They get it done. There's this big explosion, and I don't think I realized that when Piccolo comes out of the water, he has Goku. And they're all okay. Gohan's so happy to see his dad, and Piccolo and Krillin's happy to see Goku, and they're all happy to see each other. And then Krillin's face, and you just know it's gonna be ugly. I hate it. I hate it. And what's crazy is Frieza did say he was going to blow up Krillin. It's like this weird foreshadowing. I wouldn't have remembered this without my reread, but when Krillin, I think, cut his tail when he came back to life, it was one of those moments, and he's like, I'm going to blow you to bits. And he did. And when he says Goku, the way he dies too, it's just ugly, you know? It's just cruel that this whole time I'm waiting for the Super Saiyan aspect, and it takes Krillin dying. I could get in my feelings forever about this, but I do want to say it is awesome seeing the Super Saiyan aspect and how cool Goku is. And I love when he tells Gohan to leave, and Gohan is so smart and aware. Gohan realizes his dad is in the Super Saiyan mode, and he looks at him, and then Gohan realizes it, and he's like, thanks, Dad. And Goku goes crazy. Now that was worth it, seeing him just beat up on Frieza and knowing, oh, this is different. He's going to win this. And throughout this too, you have things going on with the Lord of the Worlds, and he was very strategic in all of this and figuring out, he talked to Kami-sama. They figure out, you know, how to use our dragon that we still have to bring the Namekians back alive, which would bring the Great Elder back. And then the Dragon Ball, they had one more wish, have them bring everybody back to Earth. That's great, except Goku does not want to come back to Earth. I said this in my short. I think he decided to change it whenever, and I hate him. I didn't think I could hate him more, but whenever Frieza told him, because, there was this big moment where Frieza was getting to that top 100% self, and Goku wanted to fight that. That actually made him happy, it looked like. I think Goku did some move, and then Frieza did a move, and somehow Goku got thrown in the water, and it looked like Frieza did do something, but Goku pops up, out of the water, and it's so cool. And then Frieza's just losing it. He's like Vegeta, just cannot control his emotions. He wants to be the best so much, and he says, I'm gonna blow you into atoms like your friend. And that was enough to make me feel like I could do something. So when he said that, Goku's like, are you talking about Krillin? Are you talking about Krillin? And so then he tells the Lord of the Worlds, hey, change that. You make sure everybody else leaves, but I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna finish this guy. And I loved every second of it. I think I really like watching the hand combat, I don't know how you say it. It's late. But I like that for some reason. It's cool. It's like seeing them get, powers and shooting things. Something about that just rugged fighting. I like it. Before I move on, I almost forgot to mention that a big, huge thing that happened that just made me livid. Frieza decided to, when he was losing, was like, I'm going to destroy Namek, and so I can stay in space, but you can't. And you know what? Was it strategic? Sure. But how are you going to say you're the strongest and be like, I can't win, so I'm just going to break the planet and make you not be able to breathe? Which, okay, when you say it out loud, like I said, it's strategic, but I still don't like it. But my point is, you couldn't handle the fight, and so you found a little cheat code, but whatever. So because of that, we don't have a lot of time, and now we've been having all this riffraff, and he needs to defeat Frieza so he can leave. Everybody else, now that we had the wishes and all of that, thanks to the plan of the Lord of the Worlds, everybody's gone. And oh my gosh, when Dende was back, and immediately the Great Elder, who is also back, talks to him because he's the closest to get the wish, I'm just so happy. And sweet little Dende just listens, and he helps. My Dende just propelled the story forward, and I'm proud of him. Going back to the ending, or close to the end of it, we have the final fight, and Goku is winning. That's just what it is. Frieza is losing beautifully, and then Goku does the wonderful, I quit. And I said this in my short as well, how much it reminded me of when Grandpa Gohan said, I lose. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like when he was fighting as a kid and he saw Grandpa Gohan do that. And I think that's also why I loved Goku so much. He doesn't drag it out, right? He gets to the point. He wants to fight. He wants to be strong and he wants to take care of his people, but we don't have to be so excessive. Why can't we just be okay with the win? And don't get me wrong, Goku is brutal. He lets him know why he wins. He says, you hit your peak. You've burned out your power, so your chi is dropping fast. I don't see any point in fighting you anymore. I'm satisfied. Your pride's been shredded. You've met somebody who surpasses a supposedly unsurpassable Frieza, and he was only a Saiyan. How beautiful is that? He tried to kill all, he did, murdered these Saiyans, murdered Vegeta. And Vegeta's last thing to Goku was he needs to be taken down by a Saiyan, and Goku did it, and he has belittled, Frieza has belittled them, but it's because he knows what they're capable of, right? Or at the very least, he didn't want to know what they were capable of. I think Goku really got him too, though, when he said, you felt fear, haven't you? What's the point in rubbing it in? Do you just go off and cower someplace? I think that made him lose it. And so you end this volume thinking like, okay, Frieza's going to keep going. And you know deep down, Goku is going to still beat him. So I'm wondering what else is going to happen. The first time I was reading it, Goku turned back to regular Goku, then he went back to the Super Saiyan. And I said this before, it was interesting how quickly he was able to do that this time around. I guess when Goku says, I gave him a last chance, but he's just so stupid, I'm sure it probably brought back everything that he's feeling. And he probably doesn't really want to keep this man alive, but in his heart, to Goku's nature, he's not one to do that. Which, speaking of, it seems like having a pure heart is a part of becoming a Super Saiyan. If I'm not reading into it incorrectly, he says the legendary warrior with a pure heart awakened by rage. So I guess Vegeta isn't completely wrong in the sense of Goku has to unleash, but I don't know. I don't think he's still unleashing it to have no mercy at all. Well, but I guess you kind of do have to, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I think though, if you have a pure heart, you're never going to be like a Vegeta. So he's right, but not right, because it's not like it happened because Goku's like, I'm angry. I'm sure he's been angry a lot, but it happened because of something so horrible. I have to ponder on this, but Frieza does say, a pure heart, you say. No wonder Vegeta couldn't pull it off, no matter how mad he got. Now, I don't know if that's meant to be funny or serious, but I would think maybe a combination, and that would make sense why Vegeta can't. But imagine if Vegeta wants this so bad and he can never be the Super Saiyan. And I am not, as we know, I've said it a million times, a Vegeta fan, but it's still crazy because we saw that he comes back to life because he was on the planet and they brought everybody back who, don't get me started on when they were saying, how come certain Namekians didn't come back from a village? And Vegeta says that, probably because it's a village where he killed them. And that's why I'll never forgive Vegeta. Look at him. Despicable every time. And we get to volume 12 with Master Roshi on the cover. That is Master Roshi, right? And Frieza is just throwing his little blade thing again and again. He just won't stop. And even the last time he does it, when Goku can tell it's going to get bad, he sees it coming at Frieza and he says, don't get up, stay down. Frieza allows his own thing by being so stubborn to cut him in half. Then he has the audacity to ask for help after he caused this. And Goku being Goku, it looks like he's going to hit him, and instead he gives him the energy. It's so powerful, and he says, I've given you a little of my chi, enough for you to fly a little, even in your condition. Now you're on your own. What a man. And then we see everybody, the Great Elder explains everything, and he chooses a new Great Elder because he doesn't have a lot of time left. And one of my favorite parts is when Piccolo says, Great Elder, rest in peace. But it's also Nail. Dende says, I understand you merged with Nail, and he smiles. I already love that part, but I think Dende realized it because he said that, and I think he already wanted to know, him or Gohan wanted to know how he knew who the Great Elder was in the first place. But just wonderful. Everybody's trying to see if Goku's going to come back, and Gohan's like, he will, he's a Super Saiyan, and Vegeta is shocked, right? I don't know if that's shocked out of hurt or just shocked out of that happened. So Goku, and mind you, the whole planet is about to explode. He still tries to attack Goku after Goku gives him a chance to leave. And then Goku has to do what he didn't even want to do, and that is kill Frieza. or at least we think he does. But either way, Goku's face, I spoke on this earlier, but I have so many emotions, right? I think he's sad. I think he's processing him even feeling sad whenever everything he did to his best friend and the Namekians and everybody, but also probably feels justified because this is an evil being. But also, what does it mean to feel justified? You know, what does it mean to take on this role? And then, like I said, I also wonder if he feels like that was somebody who was the closest to what I am. I don't know. I have so many feelings about it. And you think, okay, that was powerful. Hopefully we cannot have any more tragedy for a few chapters, but no. We have Goku trying to go to the ship, and I'm going to try not to get emotional. And there is something so unsettling and just heartbreaking about him going. And you have Yamcha, which I said this in my short, Yamcha, who Goku has known. He's one of the people he's known the longest. He met him as a kid and he's like, Goku, you can do it, because he's, you know, with the Lord of the Worlds. And Goku is going to the ship and he still thinks he can try to make it work. And he says, please let me make it in time. And he gets excited when he sees that the controls are the same as his ship, but it's just not working. And he gets out, and you know, time is just ticking for Namek. You have the Lord of the World saying it can't end like this. His last hope, Frieza's ship, can't take off. When Goku says it's gonna explode and realizing he's gonna be there, and then he says, I can't stop it. There's just things beyond his control no matter how strong he is. And for me as a reader, I'm thinking of it is how much he gave and how much he sacrificed and fought and led and put himself through, and emotionally and physically, and he is here alone on this planet. I hate it. I hate it. And then Yamcha saying, don't die. The explosion is just horrifying. And Yamcha just on his knees. This gets to me. And I've read ahead, but it hits every single time, and I'm sure it always will. And I love how Yamcha wants to tell Bulma so she can tell Gohan and ease it on him. I don't even want to think about that, but I will say Toriyama knows when to put humor, because Bulma shouts when he tells her about Goku. She's like, hey, son died in the explosion too. Isn't that awful? It's horrible, but I love the comedic relief. And Yamcha's like, why would you say that in front of Gohan? And Gohan's just like, Dad didn't make it. And he's handling himself very well. But we learned the Namekian Dragon Balls allow people to come back more than once, as long as if it's not a natural death, which I think is so great to explain, you know, why people come back, but also let us know that there is an ending, you know. But of course, in good old Dragon Ball fashion, we have to have something that just sucks. The Lord of the World says that Chaozu can come back because he'll come to Earth. He'll come back. Krillin and Goku cannot, because planet Namek is destroyed. He says it's empty space. Death awaits again the moment they're restored. I can't do anything about it. That's beyond my cosmic jurisdiction. And then we just have Bulma with a thought bubble with dots, because she's like, oh my gosh. And then a perfect picture of Goku. And to have Bulma and Goku, who we started this with, I'm broken again, even though I know a little bit of what happens next. I am broken. I guess even knowing things that happen doesn't change these moments. You know what I mean? It still hurts. It still happened. The way that happened for him, though, it's such a realistic depiction of what it means to be a leader, to be the one. And everybody wants that. But the cost of it was shown here. And I know it's not always to that degree, but there's so much weight. There's so much weight on his shoulders. But I'm also so proud of everybody. And Goku, that is my main character, and he inspires me so much. Another piece of my Dragon Ball journey is complete. It is going to be impossible to one day rank all of these arcs and sagas. But just know, I loved it. I took so much from it. Let me know what you thought about this arc. Also, for the Dragon Ball Diaries, I think for the next saga and arc, I've started it already, and I don't think I'm going to do the Dragon Ball Diaries for that. I'm feeling a different kind of vibe with that one. Not bad at all, but I just want to do what's the most natural. So you guys probably don't even care, but I'm just throwing it out there. Okay, guys, unfortunately, this video has come to an end. Thank you for coming on this portion of the journey with me. I will definitely see you guys in my next video. Until we meet again, I will see you guys as we talk about the Cell Saga and the Trunks arc. Bye, guys.